रेडियो अपना फ्रैंकफर्ट
Hello everyone, I am Raman from Apna Frankfurt and I welcome everyone to another discussion with Apna Frankfurt. Yes, after a long time, I'm once again back for a discussion. And because it's a very important topic, this time, the topic is so important that it actually motivated me to come back with all of you to have this very important discussion. Well, today we are going to talk about a child named Ariha Shah. Ariha Shah is an Indian national child. She was born in Germany in 2021 to Indian parents, but currently she is not with her parents. Why? And this too since September 2021. I mean, why? This is the big question that we have today. So the key question is what happened? Where is Ariha Shah today? Why is Ariha Shah not with her parents? What is the story behind this case? And even more important, how you and I can help in this case. Well, these are some of the key questions that we will have in our discussion today. I have a panel with me who will be basically giving more details into this one. We have Mrs. Dhara Shah with us. She is the mother of Ariha Shah. We also have Mr. Bhavesh Shah with us, who is the father of Ariha Shah. And we have Ms. Bharti Kumari with us, who is supporting Ariha Shah's case recently. I thank you all for joining today with me. And let me start with my first question to Bhavesh and Dhara. Well, Ariha is your daughter. She is born to you in 2021, but she is not with you. Where is she and why is she not with you? Maybe Dhara, we can start with you on this.
Yeah, before giving answer to your question, I would like to say that we are not here to ask any help for ourselves. Of course, we will give you the background just so the listeners and viewers know about the case. But we are here to ask you to help an Indian national, Indian child to repatriate to our own country, India, which is the statement of government of India also. So we are here to ask your help to support the statement of government of India, which is repatriation of Arya to India. Now coming back to your question, what happened and why Arya is not with us. So when Arya was in 7 month old in September 2021, Arya has an external perineal injury, because of which we took her to the doctors, two sets of doctors, regular pediatrician and 4 to 5 doctors in the hospital, with including surgeon. Checked Arya, everything. Everyone said everything is well, nothing to worry. It could be hormonal bleeding, and they sent us back. They said there is no need for treatment, and we went for a follow-up checkup after 5 days. They informed Yunganam and gave the custody of Arya to them. After that, we came to know that because of the nature of injury, they have suspected sexual abuse of the child. So when we came to know about this, we said, sir, see, we said to authorities, see, nothing like this happened. She's our child. She's just 7 month old baby. And if we have done something wrong, we will try to hide it. Here, we ourselves took her to the hospitals, to the doctors various times. So we have not done anything. We voluntarily gave our DNA to the authorities. So in December 2021, the hospital who called the child services Yunganam, they gave a report ruling out sexual abuse. And then in February 2022, the police case of sexual abuse of the child got closed without any charges from public prosecutor office. So we thought that now everything is clear. So because of which the Yunganam took the baby, everything is clear. We will get our baby back. But the Yunganam continued their case of terminating our parenting rights. I think Bhavesh can continue from here.
Yeah. After that, as they continued their case, and we were being asked to go through the parental ability report. So around for like it took around like 1 year just for the discussion of 11 hours with us, and then in the end she gave the report. Though there were some cultural differences and the way the Indian parents bring up the child and the way the
Absolutely.
Western people bring up the child, so there was some difference, but in the end it was positive. It was positive for us. She said that the bond between the child and the parents is much more precise and like more impulses. So it's better to have the she gave a suggestion in the end that the child and parents can stay together in the parent-child facility. And somewhere in the report, she even mentioned that like the child doesn't feel threatened by the parents and all. But still, this was also been ignored. This was also not been taken into care. So we after that, once we had a report, because the whole court verdict was on hold for this specific report. So once there was a report, there was a hearing for 2 days, and in which like around 9 hours the court heard to the psychologist, based on her report. She was giving all the explanation. In the end, we were given like around 1 hour to give our personal statement, but nothing related to injury or nothing related to explanation. Even our lawyer tried explaining, but she was also being stopped. We had submitted the where did this major confusion happened, because in the start, even we didn't knew like how our child was injured. Each time the Jungendamt were like describing the injury in different manner, so it was like literally confusing for us, like exactly what has happened and where our child was injured. And just because we didn't had any medical records, it was difficult for us to understand exactly how and what had happened and like what treatment they did. We were constantly like after we the criminal case was closed, and then also the child was not returned. We tried contacting many people, and we got to know like you need to first get the medical records out of the hospital and try to understand what exactly has happened or what allegation they are trying to put on you. So after that, from February or March, we were constantly writing to the hospital. We were filling the application, online application. We are writing the handwritten post to get the medical records. They sent us the first set of medical records in June, which were like partial, which were not complete, and we were that confused us more. So we again asked them. Then in the November 2022, exactly 13 months or around 13-14 months after they did the treatment was done to Ariha, they gave us the medical report. Once we received this medical report, everything was in German, so it was quite difficult for us to understand. We tried finding many people, because it's not only about the translation. This people in this some expertise is required.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
though a translator can understand what is written, but like a medical expert can only say what is exactly does it means. So it took
Yeah.
us time, but in December or something, we found a good translator who translated everything, and then we submitted this both the medical whole medical records into the top medical expert in USA and top medical expert in India. They both gave us very strong report. In the start onwards, what we are saying is like our child had a diaper rash issue. So she used to hold, she was in a stage where she used to hold, and then when her balance loses, she used to fall badly onto the ground. So she continuously keeps on trying that, and just because she had a diaper rash issue, we didn't we she was without diaper for a few hours every day, and while she was playing. So at that night, we heard that she cried. And later on, when we were not at home, my parents had visited here. So like my mother inspected her and checked like what exactly has happened, or like she had some thought like astrologer might have told she must have some injury. So she tried inspecting her. So after we got the medical report, the our medical expert report clearly said that like the child was not injured by grandmother. She was injured before. The grandmother's act would have aggravated the injury.
Okay.
And the third thing which they explained was like quite shocking for us. They said like the examination what was done by the hospital is not usually been carried out in such a small child. The child was gone through many invasive examination in which the injury would have worsened a lot.
Mhm.
So this should not be done in the small children's. So we gave whole they gave a strong opinion, and the another strong thing which they have mentioned, I will try to like to read out of that from the actual report which I have in my hand. So it's like the description. So this is exactly what the doctor have written after reading the German medical reports or the German doctor reports. The description of the injury in the child service opinion contradicts the medical record and the statement of the pediatric gynecologist. So it's already there is some contradiction between their statement. What is that? Now, Aria's injury is highly likely to have been caused by accident. Such injuries have been reported to occur by accident, sitting on a sharp object, followed by the acts of grandmother, and repeated medical examination and procedure is most likely cause of this event, especially with the history that the parents repeatedly took the child to the physician for the care, for the medical care. It is implausible that the parents intentionally inflicted injuries on and repeatedly rushed to the doctors.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have clearly explained this, what happened. And yeah, there is a line that such injuries have to be reported to occur by accident. This is not just only line. He found a medical journal out of it, in which there are like around 30 to 40 cases in which boy or a girl child have suffered such injury.
Okay.
Accident.
So accidentally.
Yeah. So I mean, this is kind of the background to the case. Yes, I mean, accidents happen with kids, right? I mean, this is not the first time. Even I personally am hearing that accidents happen with kids. Yes, they are playing, either they are toddlers, they are moving around, and such things happen from time to time. So it is really, really unfortunate when I hear this, that this case has taken so long. I mean, September 2021, when the child was taken away from you. February 2022, the case was taken back. No legal case filed against you on that front. And then still, I mean, till today, the child is not with you, because the Jugendamt has now filed kind of a civil custody case for the child in this case, right? So this is really, really unfortunate. But with this, let me go to the next question in this regard. Yeah. Now, what do you think is the key issue here? Was there anything that you could have done differently? What is the key learning till now for both of you, Dhara and Bhavesh?
So for me, it was like, see, as you already said, injuries happen. So for me, I have learned few things, but everything cannot be resolved, because if there is a malfunctioning, or because medical malfunctioning happens all over the world. There are many cases where something goes wrong. We even learned many cases in which sometimes diaper rashes things are also been taken and under the sexual abuse cases. So if you are not diagnosing properly, so you cannot do anything, because we heard many cases in US. It is US and all over the world, it has become standard practice that you take photographs of such things, whatever has happened. And we haven't got any photographs after banging them or requesting them from like last 13-14 months. We didn't receive anything, because if there would have been a proper practice from the hospitals, it would have been clear that like okay, there is some misdiagnosed by the doctors. Second learning, what I learned is like about the language. So language issue, though I agree, I didn't knew German, but though if I knew German and if I will try to speak in German, if I consider I know like C1, or I don't know if there is something above than C1. So if I know C1 of German, then also if I am asked to talk to the doctors, I might not be able to, because I don't know the medical jargons in German, right? I
Absolutely.
know I will know the whole language, but I will not know the medical jargons. That's why also we have some business German also courses. So that's why it's like there should be a proper translator. What learning we had is like we thought like they are doing good for us. There is nothing to hide, so we can speak freely as we want. And we whichever translator they gave us, we went ahead with that. Instead of that, we would have kept everything on hold and asked for a specific Gujarati translator, because this was a complex discussion, and that can only be carried out properly in your mother tongue, which you are speaking right from the birth.
Yeah.
Because this is like intense situation, complex situation. You have been interrogated like you have done a big crime with your own child, and that in that stress you have to find words, and if you are using a small word here and there, that creates a problem. Now
Absolutely.
the another problem which happened is like we were asking them, like our child was without diaper, that would have hurt her. We cleaned her after she did her poop, so we cleaned her, that would have hurt her. So what they consider, or we don't know what was been translated, they said like we are changing our statement, but we are asking them, is this the cause of the injury? Is
Okay.
this the cause of the injury? Because the way, if somebody has some disease, so he usually asks like ye is चीज से हुआ था कि इस चीज से हुआ था.
Exactly.
Same thing we were asking them, but they consider this as a changing of statement.
Mhm.
So this was another problem.
Okay.
Tara, you
Dhara,
have some.
Dhara, you
You
wanted to
can.
add something, right?
Yes. एक लर्निंग जो मुझे मिली है, what I understood. See, in the beginning, what my perspective about the Yunganam was, they are here to help. But this is my mistake by that I was uneducated about how this system works. So first thing, wherever, in whichever country we are living, we should know the system little bit.
Absolutely.
So here, what my learning. So I think in many Indians, if a child fall ill or some injury or anything happens, we directly rush to the doctors. We used to do the same initially in the court order, or you may have heard about head injury. So in our Indian culture, it's our practice that we malish with a good amount of oil
Natural.
and bath the baby. So
Yep.
while bathing while keeping the baby in the bathtub, she was very slippery and she was about to slip. By God grace, I was able to hold her so she didn't fall down, but her head bumped against the tabletop on which the bathtub was there. After a few days, we have observed a soft sponge. We take her to the hospital, to the doctors. Everyone said this is a typical fall injury with new parents in such a small site. Such accidents happened. The Yunganam gave social workers. They also visited our home. I thought that they are here to help me. They again gave a clearance report stating that parents are very loving and caring. But it was an accident. It was a bad day, and they regret on the accident. And mother has learned that now she keep the bathtub on the ground floor instead of keeping it on the tabletop. So everything was cleared, but Yunganam now, as they know, the genital injury case is weak because the police case is already closed.
Absolutely.
They are now just dragging down all the old things that okay, you have in your case, baby got injured, and now what they are saying, baby had a multiple blunt or a head fracture. If such injury was there, why they didn't took any action at that time?
Absolutely.
Why they give baby to us? Why they give a clearance report stating it's an accident? So everything should be like मेरा सबसे ये सजेशन है कि आप डॉक्टर से भी चाह रहे हो प्लीज बी आई विल सजेस्ट आप ध्यान रखो सो बेटर टू टेक केयर ऑफ दैट
Okay.
So
No, thank you.
another problem, like I will just
I
like to
would-
add
okay.
a small point. Another problem is like, though they understand like there is a language barrier, they have mentioned that in the report, कि, like it was difficult for us to communicate with the parents in English because their English is also weak, and we also are not that good in English. So at that time, Dhara was there, so Dhara's English is not good, so she was not able to explain properly. Though they are mentioning that, but they are taking that on records as an official statement. How can you say like both the things when they are
Yeah,
not
exactly.
able to understand? Then that cannot be taken into
Right.
record.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhavesh. There. Bharti ji, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I would like to add a small comment on this. As Bhavesh ji commented that the hospital has a common practice, or the medical health professional has common practice to sometimes misdiagnose particular thing, and I'm in support of that. I can I mean, I have been in such kind of case, so I can totally agree with this, and they give you misjudgment in the report. I have been the victim of this, so I can say this with full authority.
Thank
I'm
you.
on their side on this.
Thank you. Well, yes, I mean, sometimes these unfortunate things happen. And in this case, it has clearly happened. We all know where this case is currently heading. And now, I mean, with this, we move on to the next part. But before we move on to the next part, I would like to summarize some of the things that you have mentioned, which are very, very important. Yeah. First thing is the language barrier that we have. This is definitely one cause that has caused this issue from my point of view, what I have now heard from all of you. Yeah.
Agree, yes.
Another thing is, I mean, knowing the system is important, right? How the system works. This lack of understanding of how the system works also leads to a lot of hurdles for us. And we should definitely try to understand the system more closely. Here, I think learning the language and learning the system becomes very, very important for all of us, right? And then, I mean, another thing is definitely the cultural differences that we have. Yeah, we have our own culture and we are proud of this culture. At the same time, I mean, there are cultural misunderstandings that happen. Yeah, our intentions are always good, but sometimes because of cultural differences, they might not be correctly understood from the other side. So I think this is also a very important learning for all of us, that we need to respect these cultural differences. And I think one way of overcoming these cultural differences is always interaction. Interacting with different cultures, bringing your own perspective across, understanding others' perspective is also an important factor here, right? So with that, let me move on to the next part. Let me bring in Bharti ji here. So Bharti ji, you have been associated with this case for a while. I know you have been supporting this case. So how did you get in touch with the parents here, and how did you get connected to this case?
Yeah, thank you. I remember it was, I think, first week of June, and I was researching about this case, and I read so many articles and watched some YouTube videos. And during that night, I think I saw Ariha in my dream because I saw so many videos. And after that, I could not sleep. And it felt like that I'm choking, I'm out of air. And actually, after those nights, for 2 days, I could not sleep. It was bothering me so much, and this whole energy, this pain, I was able to feel, and I didn't know what to do. I did not know them personally. I didn't know whom to approach. I read everything in the news that MEA is doing something, Arindam Bagchi is doing the statement, but it was just this urge inside because being a mother, I was able to feel that pain. That my daughter sometimes wakes up during the night and she just cries, she needs mama. And I was like, I was just looking for Ariha. If she wakes up during the night, is there anyone to take care of her? And this whole energy just got into my heart so much that I felt like, no, I have to do something. I really need to do something. So on 8th of June, I remember I just searched it on Twitter that who is handling this thing, and I wrote many messages. And that time I got the number. This was the first time I was able to contact with him, and during those how I got so much connected with this case. I in those 2 days I wrote a poem. I would like to say that thing because it is very difficult to tell that when I was going through this thing and I was asking for the support from people that come in this case, and we need to support the parents. This is not the way a child can be live in the foster care. This is inhuman. So people told me, why are you taking so much interest? There are so many things happening in the world. Are you going to take interest in all of these things? So it was very difficult. So this is how I express myself in the words. I will go.
Please.
हल्की हल्की रात होने को आई, थोड़ी देर में अंधेरा भी हो जाएगा। मेरी सांसें थम जाती हैं, मेरे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं कि वो बच्ची कहीं अकेली है, छोटी सी है वो, नाजुक सी। मैं सोचती हूँ कोई है क्या उसके पास, कैसे रहती होगी वो, कैसे सोती होगी वो, कोई उसको सुलाता होगा क्या, कोई उसके लिए लोरी गाता होगा क्या, उसके बालों में उंगली फिरा के कोई थपकी देता होगा क्या। आधी रात को जब वो डर से उठ जाती होगी तो सीने से लगा के उसको कोई चुप कराता होगा क्या, उसकी बचकानी जिद्दें कोई पूरी करता होगा क्या, कोई उसे माँ जैसे प्यार करता होगा क्या, अपना घर अपने खिलौने क्या होते हैं उसको पता होगा क्या, बर्थडे कैसे मनाया जाता है उसको पता होगा क्या, बचपन क्या होता है उसको पता होगा क्या, माँ क्या होती है उसको पता होगा क्या। ये सोचते सोचते मेरी रात तो खत्म हो गई, बट मेरे सवाल नहीं खत्म हुए। The only thing is I want to say कि a mother and child are complementary to each other and they cannot be separated from each other. This is nature. मतलब दुनिया में कोई ऐसा रिश्ता नहीं है जिसकी रचना पहले होती हो और उसकी परिभाषा बाद में दी जाती हो। हर जो रिश्ता है उसकी पहले परिभाषा बनती है। जैसे हस्बैंड वाइफ की शादी होती है पर फिर वो रिश्ते में आते हैं, बट ये एक अकेला ऐसा रिश्ता है जिसकी रचना पहले हो जाती है और नाम बाद में मिलता है। ये प्रकृति का नियम है, आप इसको अलग नहीं कर सकते। आप एक माँ और बच्चे के रिश्ते के साथ जो छेड़छाड़ कर रहे हो वो प्रकृति के साथ छेड़छाड़ करने जैसा है। मेरा दिल को बहुत चोट लगती है इस देख के। मैं आज भी अरिहा के जब फोटो देखती हूँ मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उसको वहां होना चाहिए जहाँ उसे प्यार मिल सके, और फोस्टर केयर इंस्टीट्यूशन कोई उसको ये प्यार नहीं दे सकता। इसीलिए मतलब ये एनर्जी मेरे अंदर कि जब तक वो वापस नहीं आएगी मैं इस केस में उनके साथ हूँ, मैं उनके पेरेंट्स के साथ खड़ी हूँ और हम इस लड़ाई में तब तक लड़ेंगे जब तक हमें हमारी डिमांड्स पूरी नहीं मिल जाती, जब तक अरिहा वापस नहीं आ जाती।
Thank you,
इसलिए
Bharti.
मैं इस केस के साथ थैंक यू सो मच
Thank
जोड़िंग
you.
यू।
Thank you, Bharti ji. Thank you very much. And I think this is very powerful. Yeah. बहुत जरूरी है हम सबको ये चीज को समझना कि इस केस की बैकग्राउंड क्या है और हम इस केस में कैसे हेल्प कर सकते हैं. So I mean, I will jump into the next question that goes exactly into that direction. Yeah. So Indian diaspora in Germany is already supporting this case, right? So I would
Yes.
like to ask our panelists, I mean, what has been done till now, and are there any activities that are planned in the coming days? Maybe Bharti ji, we start with you on this one.
Recently, we have had a silent protest in Frankfurt, and luckily, it was able to make some impact worldwide, and especially in Indian media, also among the Indian minister also. And they have. I am not sure that what has been the recent take from Indian government, what action they are taking. But I'm glad that more Indians are coming in this favor, and they are coming from their own voice. They are supporting this in this cause, and they are planning for more protests also in the future. It was successful, or it was not very successful, we cannot say. But the good thing is there were people on the street saying for Ariha that we want Ariha back to India. We were saying that Modi ji, please Ariha ko India le jao. So there were Indians. So there is a voice. This is a clear and loud message to the German authorities and to the Indians and to the Indian authorities also. Ki you need to take action as soon as possible in this case. In the
Yeah.
future, we are planning for more protests, but we are not very concrete at the right moment. But this is for sure, we will do more protests because we cannot just let this case go in vain just like that. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
we will raise our voice more stronger with more number of people. I just want to say to other Indian community here that please come forward. If you are aware of this case, please don't stay at home. If it is office, your personal thing, you have some trips, but just think about there is a little girl who is spending her life in a foster care. Just think from their side.
Yeah.
So please come forward and just take part in this cause.
Thank you. Thank you, Bharti
Thank you
ji.
so much.
And I think it's very, very important here, right? I mean, what we have seen, the silent protest that has happened earlier, right? And protesting is a very, very important part of a democracy. When done in a peaceful, in a right manner with the right permissions, I think it makes a lot of impact. And there we need to follow that path to raise the voice. And again, Bharti ji, thank you for organizing it, and thank you for also
Thank
taking
you.
this journey forward. Also, we all need to support this cause there. Bhavesh and Dhara, would you like to add something more in this regard here?
See, मैं ये बोलना चाहूंगी, we are fighting for our baby since last 2 years. See, we are not the criminals. That's the reason we are here sitting and answering your question. Otherwise, we would be thrown in the jail. And we are fighting because we love our child. Still, we understand, and with such an allegation, this is a shocking and shameful allegation for any parent. अगर किसी पेरेंट्स पे ऐसा आरोप डाला जाए, वो शर्म से ही ये सुन के ही हमारे लिए हर दिन हर मोमेंट हमारे लिए मौत है, क्योंकि हम हमारे बच्चे के बिना जी रहे। हम गिरते हैं, खड़े होते हैं, क्योंकि हमें पता है हमारी बच्ची नरक में है, हमें हमारे बच्चे को वहां से निकालना है। स्टिल वी अंडरस्टैंड, लोग हमें नहीं जाते, पीपल डजंट नो अस, दे माइट हैव सम क्वेश्चंस, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ सम time constraint we might not be able to clear all the doubts, so we request you to reach us out. आपको जो भी question, we will clear you.
Yeah.
But I think everyone will agree on one thing: Ariha is Indian citizen and she has right to come back to India under the supervision of Indian Child Welfare Authority. When Indian government is ready to take care of the Indian citizen, then why German authorities, Juncker Name, is not giving Indian citizen to them?
Absolutely.
यहाँ पर मैं एक चीज ऐड, दारा जी, मैं यहाँ पर एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा व्यूअर्स और लिसनर्स के लिए. I mean, 59 Indian member of parliament, 59 Indian member of parliaments from 19 different political parties in India, they have come together and written a joint letter to the German ambassador in India. And they have also asked him to do everything possible to ensure that Ariha Shah is repatriated to India as soon as possible, right? So I mean, there has to be some legitimacy in this case, because 59 member of parliaments have made that statement. I mean, that statement speaks for itself. So people
Yes.
need to realize it. People need to also see that there is authenticity behind this case. And I mean, everybody can have questions to that. And as you said, I mean, they can get in touch with you. I would like to bring in, there is a website called www.saveariha.org. Yeah. From there, you can get more information about this case. From there, you can also get to know the Twitter handles. You can also get to know other social media handles with which you can get in touch with the case, with the parents there. And then, yes, I mean, ask those questions. But again, also the important part is support in whatever capacity you can, right? Okay, with this, let me move on to the next question here. Now, I mean, we have now understood the background of this case. Now, the key question, how can viewers and listeners here can support in this case? What can be our key ask here? Dhara, Bhavesh, would you like to state something?
Okay. So I would like to request all of you. सब मानते हैं एक बच्ची को एक फॉस्टर केयर में इंस्टीट्यूट में उसका बचपन नहीं बीतना चाहिए उसको और प्यार जो परिवार और जो फैमिली एनवायरनमेंट देता है वो एक इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं देता सो आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट यू एवरीवन आप जो भी अगर जर्मनी में हो तो जर्मनी में जो इवेंट्स हो उसमें पार्टिसिपेट कीजिए इंडिया में हो तो आप उसके इवेंट्स में पार्टिसिपेट कीजिए सोशल मीडिया ट्विटर इंस्टाग्राम सोशल मीडिया पे लोगों को जागृत कीजिए और अरिहा को इंडिया लाने के लिए एक साथ जुड़िए बिकॉज जब हम लोग बाहर है इंडिया के बाहर है बट हम इंडियंस अगर साथ में हो जाएंगे ना तो देयर इज नथिंग कि हम नहीं कर सकते
थैंक यू
सो मैं सबको रिक्वेस्ट कर सकती हूँ प्लीज अरिया के रिपार्ट्रेशन के लिए हेल्प कीजिए स्टैंड लीजिए थैंक यू
भावेश आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे
मैं एक चीज ये बोलना चाहूंगा कि लाइक any child in the foster care, so like what is her future after 18 years? Okay, usually I don't honestly, if you see the architecture or structure of the system, honestly you will not at all get agreed to this. Why there is a UNCRC chartered or something? Why? Because if there is some reason, if the child has to be taken away from the parents, the second priority should be given to some kin. Either it's like someone first degree or second degree family members from the family. So that's what we are asking. अगर आपको लगता है कि हम बराबर नहीं रख रहे या हम लोग अब्यूज कर रहे हैं या जो भी हो, but at least she should have that rights because it's her rights. एंड यूएनसीआरसी की तरफ भी ये नहीं बोलता कि वो फैमिली वाले को ये बच्चा रहना चाहिए, बच्चे को अधिकार है वो फैमिली के साथ रहने का. So that's what we are asking. This 59 MPs who wrote the letter, they also are saying the same thing. Do everything to send a child back to India because she is an Indian citizen. We don't care what the parents have done, not done. We don't care. आपको जो करना है उसके साथ वो कंट्री में करो, लेकिन बच्चे को उधर भेज दो. Why they are not just sending Ariha back and we are free to go back to India? Because in our last visit हमको तो ये भी बोल दिया था कि आप last to last visit जब युंगन हम के साथ थी तभी उन्होंने बोला you can go by tell us a date where we can schedule a good meeting with your daughter तो आप अच्छे से उसको गुड बाय बोल पाए. मतलब हम चले जाए लेकिन बच्ची को इधर रख दे. When the child is worn out of the foster care after 18 years, आप बोलो उसका परिवार कौन है? जो माँ बाप थे उसका तो रिलेशन कट कर दिया, फिर वो एक अनाथी हो गया. उसके पास कनेक्शन कौन है? फैमिली कौन है? उसका कोई रिलेटिव, उसका कोई कनेक्शन ही नहीं है.
सो आई थिंक यहाँ पर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, right, Bhavesh? I think you are very clearly mentioning the message here. The child has her rights and those rights need to be respected. और इंडिया का repatriation जो है that is very very important at this stage, especially considering the child's age here, right? और वो right को जो है वो definitely respect किया जाना चाहिए. भारती जी, you wanted to say something?
मैं धरा जी और भावेश जी के साथ पूरी तरह से सहमत हूँ. And I just want to add कि I just want to repeat the same thing and I want to add कि जो baby होता है, child, they are very naive and they are very innocent. And all they need, all a child need is love and constant care and unconditional pampering. And this cannot be achieved and this cannot be fulfilled in a foster care and institution. तो आपको baby needs a or they need their parents or their family or roots, the culture जहाँ पे they can be themselves. And that's why I just want to urge the whole Indian community that, as Dharaji said, please come to the events. And I want to, with my hands folded, I really want to urge our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji that please take some action in this case. Please intervene in this matter as soon as possible, because the child memories is very vague. She's losing her identity day by day, and we cannot just wait. Delayed justice is also injustice. So please take some action as soon as possible. We really need some strong action from Indian government in Ariha's case. So
Yeah. Thank you.
please.
Thank you for mentioning that, Bharti. And I think I would also like to say here, there have been very strong statements already given by the Indian government in this case, as I understand, right? I mean, this we mentioned the letter signed by 59 MPs, very, very strong statement in that direction. Also, when recently the foreign minister of Germany visited India, this matter was also raised by the Honorable Foreign Minister of India, Mr. S. Jaishankarji. And I think, yes, the matter is known to the authorities. And yes, the authorities are taking steps into this direction. But I think this is not enough. What is important is each and every one of us can make a difference. I believe this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
हम ये बोल सकते हैं कि मैं अकेला क्या करूंगा. That is right. But मैं अकेला नहीं हूं इस केस में. I mean, we all have to come together whenever there are any kind of democratic actions that are happening in this case, where we can raise our voice in the right manner, in the rightful manner. It's a part of democracy, right? Let us make use of those opportunities. Let us make use of those events to raise our collective voice. Please remember, it's about a small child. It's about a child not having access to her parents. And this is where I would like to request all our viewers and listeners, again, to please visit the website saveariha.org. Please inform yourself. Yeah. What is the background to this case? Get in touch with the parents here. Get in touch with the people who are organizing those events. Know more from the social media. If you have questions, yes, it is legitimate to have questions. Ask those questions, get that clarity, and then please decide accordingly, and please support the cause here. This is very, very important. Each one of us can definitely make a difference here. All right. So now, going towards the end, I would like to now ask my panelists here if they would like to give any special message to the viewers and listeners. I start with Bharti ji, you.
I think when there is an event in the Frankfurt or Hamburg or in Berlin, your presence is more than enough. Please come forward. Please do come forward. Stand for Ariha. Stand for a little baby girl. Please come forward. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Bharti ji. Thank you. Bhavesh ji.
Yeah, it's like I would like to. It's not only for the viewers; it's for everyone, even for the German authorities and Indian authorities. That like we are signing an agreement to bring the skilled laborers over here. If the family themselves are not feeling safe, or their children have been taken away for the on the false allegation, how the German authorities accept that like the people will come over here and do job. Second thing, Indian government is also partially happy and like says that they are doing good because we expatriate in Germany or all over the world are sending money back to India, which is even helping a good cause. Even I was doing this long before when I had good stable income. So now also there is a problem where I need to shell out all the money over here. So if we ourselves are not feeling safe, so how and when we need the help from the government of India, we're not getting enough. So eventually it should be like give and take kind of situation where both are getting proper help. So we are not getting that.
Yeah.
So people should be educated once they are being sent, or like they are signing this labor agreement and all.
Okay.
So that's what my
thank you.
learning.
Thank you, Bhavesh ji. Daraji.
So I do not have any message, but I have a few questions for our viewers and listeners, so they can think and educate themselves, and then they can decide. So questions like, when government of India is ready to take the responsibility, why German authority is not sending them back? Why Jungernaam is instead insisting on keeping Ariha on on German foster system only? Why Ariha is not allowed to meet Indian community or officials of Indian embassy? Are they also dangerous for Ariha? For parents, they are saying parents are dangerous or whatever. but our Indian community or our cultural people or our Indian officials, are they also dangerous for Ariha? So does this mean they feel कि इंडियन कल्चर हम इंडियन लोग हैं, हम अच्छी तरीके से अपने बच्चों को बड़ा नहीं करते, रीजन वो किसी इंडियन परिवार को या इंडियन गवर्नमेंट को या इंडियन अथॉरिटी को नहीं दे रहे, देन दिस इज अलार्म फॉर इंडियन कम्युनिटी कि हमें साथ में होंगे तो हमें कोई तोड़ नहीं पाएगा. So these questions for you to think on it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dharaji. And I mean, the last closing statements from me, again, dear viewers and listeners, as I said, I mean, we all, when we come together, can definitely make a difference here. Yeah. Again, also Bharti ji very rightly said, I mean, justice delayed is justice denied. And in this case, the justice has been delayed for a long time now. Yeah, the child is away since September 2021. The case was basically, the first case was closed in February 2022. And since then, the parents are fighting to get the custody back for that child. There are also Indian government officials involved in this one, also German officials involved in this one, right? And what is important is that justice should be served soon in this case. And yes, if we all can support in that direction, in getting justice in this matter, we all should do whatever we can. So again, my request, please visit website saveariha.org. Please inform yourself. Please support the cause here and do whatever is possible in your capacity so that democratically, in a righteous way, justice is served soon in this case. Yeah. With this request, I would like to thank all my panelists to join the call today. Thank you very much. And I wish all the best. And I wish that justice is served in this case as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Thanks to all the viewers and listeners for connecting with Apna Frankfurt. Thank you very much.
Radio Apna Frankfurt.